Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, my name is Dr. Surajudeen Ajibola Basiru. I represent Osun Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, I think the starting point in my comment, I must congratulate Senator Odia for delivering on this very important national assignment within time. But I think the starting point for the thoroughness of the work of the committee of the Senate is to make reference to paragraph 6 in their finding. And in that paragraph, they stated that the committee, in agreement with attending MDAs, concluded that in the present circumstances of absence of required detail, it will resume and conclude the consideration of the other two outstanding components of Mr. President's external borrowing request relating to funding of priority projects and as well as facility support to the state. It is important to underscore is because of those that will say that the Nigerian Senate is always quick to approve loan requests by the executive. This paragraph shows that because there were not enough materials for those two other aspects, components of the borrowing, it has been set down. So this clearly removed the erroneous impression, which is, with respect, mischievous, to say Senate is just always quick to accept and endorse requests by the executive. Then secondly, I think with respect, the approval of this report of the committee is actually been predetermined by the resolutions 5 and 6 already approved in the consideration of the MTF just a moment ago in this chamber. In that recommendation 5 and 6 made reference to the fact that this Senate had approved the recommendation in the MTF that there's a deficit of 4.95 trillion in the current budget, and that this will be largely financed from new borrowings estimated at 14.17 trillion. From this, it is expected that 1.98 trillion of the new borrowing will form external multilateral concessional sources, mainly IMF, World Bank, African Development Bank, and Islamic Development Bank. I will say, therefore, that going by already agreed recommendations and resolutions, I will say that going by the agreed recommendation and resolution, accepting that there will be deficit in the 2020 budget and there will be necessity to take borrowing to be able to bridge the gap in the deficit, automatically this report of the committee is a logical sequence that ought to be adopted without any much problem. And of course, the reality that has come, because people will say, why where is even there a request for loan? The reality is that 3 very important things has happened that we cannot wish away, which has affected the ability to fund the Nigerian budget from its revenue. 1, you can see that even talking, we have to put on masks. This was not the case as at February this year. The COVID pandemic has affected the economy, that the economy has been in state of paralysis for the past 3 months. Secondly, the international politics of oil between Russia and Saudi Arabia has affected the price of oil.
Wait.
Is on. Then the third is that the fact that there has been a drilling in the fortune of the country does not also affect the fact that there is a need for additional expenditure to be able to take care of critical infrastructure, critical intervention to be able to do so. So we're in a state that as reasonable Nigerians, as leaders of the people, we must take the tough option of ensuring that we revitalize our economy by taking this very important facility. So I urge my colleagues, without much ado, and in view of the earlier resolutions adopted 5 and 6 in the MTF, we should take it without much problem. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Suleiman Kwari.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, my name is